Hello everyone, welcome to our course Reinforcement Learning. As part of this course, from now onwards for a few classes, few lectures, we will discuss different learning strategies. The first learning strategy that we are going to discuss, that is called as the supervised learning. We are going to discuss about the supervised learning. So see, suppose a teacher wants to teach students multiplication. So what he will tell, or what we experienced when we are at child days. So teacher will tell, 2 multiplied by 1 equal to 2. 2 multiplied by 2 equal to 4. This is the table, how my teacher explains me. Then I understand the patterns. That means when one digit is 2 and I am multiplying with another digit 1, I got the value 2. And one digit is 2 and I multiply with another digit 2, I got the value 4. That means my teacher told, that means he gave both digit 1 and digit 2, and also he gave the answer or output or correct value. So that's how I learned. My teacher told, so 3 is one number, multiplied by 1 another number, then you got the correct value 3. 3 is a one number, 2 is a second number. If you multiply these two, you got the output 6. So he gave both inputs and also he gave the output, correct output, while explaining to learn tables. So what you understand here, while learning the tables, my teacher told he gave the both input numbers, input 1, and he gave the both inputs, input 1 and input 2, and also he provided me the output or correct output or target or label he provided. He provided both inputs and the output or label. The same thing is applicable in the machine learning also. Okay. So this is a machine learning model. If you are trying to train this machine learning model by providing both input data as well as correct output or label data for the training purpose. Once the training was completed, the model will be able to predict. So this type of training, this type of learning strategy is called as a supervised learning. So in supervised learning, as in school, the teacher provides both input and output. In supervised learning, we have to provide the input data and its corresponding correct output or label. We have to provide both during the learning stage. So this is called as the supervised learning. So you have to provide the input data, that is called the features. You have to provide the output data, correct output data, that is called the labels. Now train the model, train the machine learning model. So once model was trained means it is identified or discovered inbuilt pattern, inbuilt rules. Once training was completed, once it discovered the pattern perfectly, then it will predict the new values, new outputs for a given new inputs. That's how supervised learning is. Example, let's assume I want to build one machine learning model. I want to train one machine learning model for COVID diagnosis. So COVID diagnosis, maybe I want to take some parameters like body temperature. I want to take another parameter like the oxygen level. I want to take another parameter like a cold status and also cough status, and finally a result. Right? So what are the input features? Body temperature, oxygen, cold and cough are the inputs, and this result is the output. So maybe 107 body temperature, 85 oxygen level, S cold, cough S, then he is a COVID patient. The temperature is 98, oxygen levels are 100, no cold, no cough, he is a no cold, no cough, then he is a COVID negative patient. So like that, we have to provide both input data and output data to a machine learning model. This is the ML model. So you have to provide the both input data. These all are the inputs, and also you have to, so based on these inputs, your model predicts something, and this predicted value is compared with your actual output value. This is the correct output value. We have to provide this correct output and also these input features we have to provide. Then for these inputs, whatever the model is predicting, that is compared with the correct output, and based on this error, your model will start learning. Model starts updating its parameter. So this type of learning strategy of a machine learning model is called as the supervised learning, right? So what are the examples of where we use the supervised learning? That is called email spam detection. We have to provide both input and output. For email spam detection, you have to provide the text data in your email, like win 1 crore. This is the text in my email. Then you have to give the correct output, as is spam mail. And meeting at 10 a.m. input, it's a not spam mail. Congratulations, free gift. So it is a spam mail. Project report attached, it's a not spam mail. Like that, you have to provide the both inputs and outputs are correct outputs are labels. And based on this data, you have to model will be learned. Then it is called as the supervised learning. So where we use the supervised learning? So supervised learning is used in the face recognition applications, disease prediction, house price prediction, email spam detection, where we have to provide both input data and also correct output data. So the advantages of the supervised learning are like it has high accuracy and easy for the evaluation. We will compare whatever the output you are getting, we will compare with the actual output. Whatever the model is predicting, that is compared with the actual output. So then we can calculate the error easily. Model evaluation is easy. So most commonly used. The limitation, coming to the limitation, requires thousands, millions of the labeled examples. So you have to provide the labels for every input data. So that's one of the issues. So you have to provide the label data. You have to invest more time, more effort to prepare the labels. It costs more. That labeling cost also included. So that is the only limitation in case of the supervised learning, right? So finally, supervised learning teaches the machine learning using the examples with correct answers. So you have to provide the input data and correct output data, train the model, then it comes to the prediction. So hope you understand how the supervised learning is. And now we are going for the next one, that is called unsupervised learning. Unsupervised learning. So in unsupervised learning, you can see, for example, you are going to the library for the first time and no one tell where science textbooks are, where history textbooks are, where literature textbooks are, where mathematics textbooks are. Then what you will do? So you just walk on the library continuously, then you can understand what are the books are coming together. By yourself you understand where the science books are, where the social books are, where the history books are, where the literature books are, based on your observation. No one will guide you, no one will supervise you. If that is the case, if you understand that pattern, if you understand where the science books are there, where the mathematics books are there, based on your observation, based on your experience in the library, okay, without guiding from the supervisor, without taking the help from any employee in the library, you are identifying where the group of science books are, where the group of mathematics books are, where the group of history books are. So then it is called as unsupervised learning. No one supervises you. You learn by yourself. Based on your input features, so what are the science textbooks are, how they looks like, what are the mathematics textbooks are, what are the titles, what are the history books are, what are the titles. So based on that similarity and the titles of the textbooks, you observed. So what is the science books, what are the history books, what are the literature books, and what are the mathematics books. No one tell you. Based on the titles you observed. So in unsupervised learning, I said no supervisor. That means no correct outputs, no labels, only input data. In supervised learning, we provide only input data to the machine learning model. We will not provide any labels. We will not provide any labels to the machine learning model. So we will provide only input data. Then we will apply the unsupervised learning algorithms. So based on the similarities between these samples, input data samples, based on the hidden pattern, similar hidden pattern between the input samples, so your machine learning model able to group those input samples into the multiple groups. They cluster these samples into the multiple groups. Why these are group 1? Because these are the green color, that's the similarity between those samples. Why these are grouped? Because all are the blue color, that is the similarity between those samples. Why these are grouped? This is the red color. So that means similar color, these are red, so they are grouped together. So this is how the unsupervised learning works. In unsupervised learning, we will not provide any label data, we will provide only input data. And based on the similarity between the input data, the model group the samples into the multiple clusters. So like this. So we will provide the input data only, no labels. And you can apply the unsupervised learning algorithms. We have the different unsupervised learning algorithms like clustering, association, dimensionality reduction. So based on these algorithms, these algorithms help the model to identify the similarities between all these samples, and based on the similarity, the samples are grouped into the multiple clusters. Maybe this is called the green cluster, blue cluster, and red cluster, like this. So for example, real-time example is like a customer segmentation. Customer segmentation means, so bank has the lakhs of customers, but they want to classify, they want to cluster, they want to group the customers into the multiple clusters. They want to group the customers into multiple clusters. Maybe they will consider some parameters, input parameters like they will consider some input parameters like age, whether they get in the pension amount is crediting in the account or not, or just taking the scholarship, is there any scholarship is crediting in the account or not, is there any salary are credited here or not, and if there is any turnover is more than 1 crore, like this. So if these are the some of the input features. So based on these input features of every customer, these customers will be clustered into multiple groups. These customers are grouped into multiple clusters. For example, one person age is 20. He is not getting pension, 0. He is getting scholarship, yes. He is not getting any salary, it is a 0. And he is not, turnover is not greater than 1 crore, then it is a 0. So if any person has this type of features, then it maybe comes under the group of student. So if you go for the another thing, let us assume if the age is 65 and he got the pension every month, let us assume he is not getting any scholarship, he is not getting any salary, his turnover is not more than 1 crore, let us assume. If the input features are like this, then that type of peoples are coming into the retired people, that group. So based on that bank transactions, bank account details, so you are going to cluster the customers into the multiple groups, multiple clusters. In another example, maybe age is around 40, so he is not taking any pension, he is not taking any scholarship, he is getting salary regularly, yes, his turnover is not more than 1 crore, then that type of people comes under the professionals. Similarly, if the age is around something 40, 50 like that, and they are not getting the pension, they are not getting the scholarship, they are not getting the salary, but the turnover is more than 1 crore, then if that is the case, maybe that type of people are grouped as a business owners, like that. So based on the similarities, no labels, no one will tell you, based on the similarities between the input parameters, so the customers are clustered, grouped into the multiple categories. So this is the example for the unsupervised learning. Similarly, coming to the applications, you can use it for the customer segmentation, that what I explained here, and you can use for market basic basket analysis. That means which items are taking together or buying together, and for the anomaly detection, identifying the unusual patterns, and topic modeling in the natural language processing, nothing but the discovering the new topics in a text data, based on the text data. This type of applications we are using the unsupervised learning. So coming to the limitation, we have the input data without any labels, and this data is clustered into multiple groups, but the problem is we are unable to identify what this group related to, which this group is related to which, what. So that is somewhat difficult. So finding the structure, we find the structure, but does not know meaning of the group. What is this group meaning? What we got the groups, but what the meaning of this group is getting is somewhat difficult. We have to analyze further. So this is about the unsupervised learning. Okay. So I hope you understand the supervised learning and unsupervised learning. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the other learning strategies. So we will meet in the next lecture. Until then, bye. Thank you.